looking at number 8 on the practice worksheet for exponential graphs, and we've got an a equal to -1. Then the base of this exponential is a 4. Right? The base, remember, can never be negative. The base always has to be greater than 0. And not equal to +1. So that negative in front doesn't belong to the base, it's the a, the multiplier in front of the base. Okay, then the h, since this is x+1, our h is a -1, and then the k, the constant at the end, is a +3. So since the base is greater than 1, that is exponential growth. The asymptote comes from the k, so y equals +3 is going to be the horizontal asymptote. So we'll go ahead and dash that line on the graph. And the domain of every exponential function is all real numbers, so the interval -∞ to infinity. The range, because a is negative, there's been a reflection in the x-axis, and so the range is going to be starting at -∞ and then heading up to, but not including, that horizontal asymptote at 3. Okay, the transformations are based on the anchor points of the parent graph, which is 4 to the x. So these 3 anchor points are the y-intercept of the parent graph, 0, 1, then 1, b, and the b is 4, and then -1, the reciprocal of b, and that would be a 1/4. Okay, first we're going to multiply the y value by the a value, and our a here is -1 because of the reflection. So we have the point 0, -1, then 1, -4, and -1, -1/4. Okay, next we're going to add the h, and our h is -1 to the x-coordinate of each of these points. So 0 plus -1 is -1. Then we have a 1 plus -1 is 0. And then -1 plus -1 is -2. Okay, and then we're going to add the k, and our k is a +3 to each of these y-coordinates. So -1 stays the same, and then -1 plus 3 is a +2. The 0 stays the same, and -4 plus 3 is -1. And then -2 stays the same, and -1/4 plus 3 is an 11/4, which would be 2.75. So coming over to sketch these points on our graph, we go to -1 and up 2, then 0 and down to -1. At -2, we're up here at 2.75. So really close, but not touching that horizontal asymptote. And now we're going to need to pick 2 more guide points and get their coordinates. So we already know the y-intercept, so let's go ahead and go 1 over from there and find the y when x is 1. So -4, 1 plus 1 power plus the k of 3. So that's -4 quantity squared, or no, not the quantity, just the 4 is squared. So -16, and then plus 3 is -13. So at 1, we're way down here off the graph, because our graph starts at -8. So that tells me that this is going to bend and be very, very steep as it comes down. It's not going to go past 1, because 1 is all the way down at negative 13. Okay, then we're going to pick a guide point to the left of negative 2, which would be a negative 3. So we'll have negative 4 raised to the negative 3 plus 1 power plus 3. It's negative 4 to the negative 2 plus 3. And that would be a negative 1 over 16 plus, which is something really tiny, plus 3. So that's going to be 2.9 or really close to it. So I'll put an approximately 2.9. The calculator shows it as 2.9375. So yeah, really close to this asymptote. So negative 3, we're just right underneath, and it keeps approaching that horizontal asymptote, getting closer, 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 closer forever, but never actually equaling positive 3. So negative 3 would be exactly 47 over 16, which is approximately 2.9.